for my second whiskey of tonight's flight. The first one was the Quiet Man 8-year-old single malt Irish whiskey. This one here is Canadian whiskey. It is 150th Canadian anniversary right there. Lohin McKinnon Barley and Rye Distiller's Tribute Blend Lightly Peated Whiskey. Canadian. And being Canadian, it's got in French also the label Whisky Légèrement Tourbé. And here it says 750 mils, 43% alcohol by volume, made in British Columbia. It has, for some reason, a tartan on the bottom. And here, what is the story? Limited anniversary edition. I got this last summer, the 26th of August. The Lohin McKinnon 150th anniversary edition started its journey in 2013, the same year Central City opened its distillery. From the first days, carefully selected barrels were set aside to age leading up to Canada's landmark birthday. Canada has a long history of Scottish influence woven into the fabric of our amazing country. By handcrafting a blend of malted Canadian rye whiskey with lightly peated single malt whiskey, we've created a one-of-a-kind limited anniversary edition bottle to celebrate this historic landmark. A unique blend of Scottish and Canadian whiskey styles pays tribute to that joint heritage. Aha! And once again, here is what the box label looks like. And I'm going to, well, there's some dust on the top, because this has been in my possession since the 26th of August, and now we're almost halfway into February. It is a cheap box. It is thin. It doesn't matter. Here is what the bottle looks like. Lohin McKinnon Barley and Rye lightly peated whiskey. And what does it say on the back here? Oh, the same thing as it says on the other. Please drink responsibly, distilled and hand bottled in Canada. Return where applicable. Produced by Central City Brewers and Distillers, Surrey, BC. Lot 001. Or LTD 0001. Okay, the first batch, I had the first batch last year. It said Lot 0001. And this one is limited 0001. So it is the first limited edition. And I had lot number 1 also last year. Okay. Now to open this puppy. What was the price tag on this one? As I have it here too. Lohin McKinnon, Canadian, 750 ml. $73.99. So about $85 out the door with the liquor tax and the goods and services tax. There's a seal on here. Will it break when I try and undo the cork, or do I have to cut the seal? It says okay, barley and rye lightly peated. Barley and rye lightly peated, same on that side. Okay, maybe. Okay, all right. I broke the seal, and the cork is actually not a very tight one. Okay. Well, let's give this a pour. I like the bottle. It's got sort of a lip on the up here. It's a little bit like a Balvenie bottle. And the cork goes nicely back on there. Okay. Let's see, what do we got? We got a sort of like a light amber, dark gold. It's a little pale though. Oh! That is an interesting. There is something funky going on here. I wonder where they got their peat from. Doesn't say. It's not an old whiskey. It's only about 4 years old, seeing as they only started distilling back in 2013, and this was bottled in 2017. So it's 3 or 4 years old. Wow. I don't know where to begin. I'm getting rye, and I'm getting a lot of chocolate. Rye and malt. A lot of rye, a lot of malt. Rye, malt, and there is some peat. Chocolate. So this is single malt and rye married together. That's different. Barley and rye. Wow. I'm even getting a bit of a note of plastic, of Band-Aids. It smells just like the plastic of a Band-Aid. Barley and rye and peat. This is really different. There was a cereal note too, like oats and something that resembles hairspray. Or you know when they do perms and what that smells like when you go to a beauty salon and you smell the perm? I'm getting some of that in there too. Curious. Getting honey too. Honey. Honey, peat smoke. That stuff they use to make permanent waves or perms in the hair. And malt. Very curious notes. This is totally different. Different from anything I've ever had before. Wonder what the taste will bring us. It's like, Reese's peanut butter cup. It's like chocolate and peanut butter. Before you ever taste one, you don't expect chocolate and peanut butter to go together. Mm. Very curious. I'm getting malt. I'm getting a lot of malt. A very malty whiskey. On the palate, I'm not getting the peat as much. And thankfully I'm not tasting that permanent hairspray stuff. Now that I've had a sip, the nose has changed somewhat. Malt and rye, who would have thought? Not a lot of fruits here. The peat is almost imperceptible on the palate. I'm getting some, maybe a bit of caramel, just a bit. But then there's the rye, and it seems like very malty on the nose. But then there's that slight dill pickle influence from the rye. It's as if you took a Lecheg 10 and mixed it with Sazerac rye. Cereal notes. Cereal notes. It's not very grainy, but I do get rye and malt. And now I'm getting no hairspray at all. That hairspray, that permanent stuff is gone. Not very fruity either. Now with the rye and the malt, I'm getting some caramel, a bit of vanilla, and for some reason it's a tiny little bit salty, as if there's a sea spray going on. The finish is a little bit dry. I'm getting hints of vanilla. I'm getting rye again, and malt, and that is a curious, very curious combination of rye and malt that I have never tasted anywhere else before. This is a very interesting whiskey, and I predict that as the level goes down, it's gonna open up, and I think it's gonna get better. I think it's gonna get better as it opens up. I've had the inaugural batch of Lohin McKinnon, and it was really good. But this adds an extra dimension to that. Now on the nose, I'm getting more caramel and toffee, more vanilla, and that rye note. And it's malty too. Gosh, this is strange, but it's so good. I'll also hasten to add that it is very easy drinking. And on the aftertaste, now it's coating my mouth with caramel vanilla, rye, malt. Wow, this is something different. I'm glad I had the opportunity to try it, and I will drink to your very good health.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Now, a few minutes later, I still have this in my hand. I'm still nosing it a bit, and it's getting a little minty. It's changing as it goes. This is one curious dram, and I think it's wildly interesting. Wow, what an experience.